Having me. My question is, musicians are just so crazy. It's such a nice day and we're inside. It's just, so, but it's nice to see you all again and some new faces. I'm going to be talking about a couple of things and maybe try to combine them together. I talked to Linda. It was funny, she said, do you want to do this or that? And I said, I want to do this. And she said, well, actually, we'd rather you do that. It reminded me when I was a kid, people would say, do you want to be in the wedding or do you want to play for the wedding? I'd say, I want to be in the wedding. They were like, really? Don't you really want to play? I was like, no, I don't want to, I want to be in it. So it took me forever to ever be in a wedding because I was always playing for weddings. So anyway, so this topic, I'm going to play and talk about William Gillock's music. And the way this came about is maybe 10 years ago, I did a presentation at the state conference about developing technique through intermediate repertoire. And that encompassed sonatinas and classical music and Baroque music and romantic music. And some of it was William Gillock's music. And so I just extracted that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about technique and his music and play the music for you. I don't really have any handouts, but if you want, I can get your email and send you this. I can even, his pieces are pedagogical pieces. I think he wrote them mostly in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He was born in 1917. And I think he died in 93 or 2003, something like that. He was born in St. Louis, and he's from Orton, Missouri. And so he really has, these are really not competition pieces, I don't think. I think maybe for some elementary students, maybe they could play some of them. But these are pieces that are maybe recital pieces, pieces that sound nice and develop musicianship. So they're elementary and intermediate. I'm going to be mostly playing intermediate pieces today and talking about them. So the other thing that the reason this came to mind, this is a topic that I'm interested in, is like I get a lot of, like when I hear students playing competitions in Oklahoma and Missouri and Arkansas, and even I get auditions at my university. I'm amazed at how well these students can play, but they don't quite understand how to make a good tone on a piano. I'm like, wow, they have good fingers, but they really don't know what to do with their wrists, their arms, or the pedal or anything. And it's really surprising to me how well they played despite that. So I thought, oh, well, they're easy kind of fixes too. So, I don't know why that is, but it just seems, maybe it's just the people I'm coming across, but anyway. So he really has three groups of intermediate pieces that he's really known for. One is called these accents on solos. There are 8 volumes, accents on solos. These new jazz styles, New Orleans jazz styles, and then these lyric preludes and romantic style. So I'm going to be playing from there, and if you have any questions along the way, just interrupt me and ask. So when I talk about like technique and sound and like these pieces are these are character pieces, and they're mostly in romantic kind of style. And so when we think about technique and the romantic style, it's a little bit different than the classical style. But so there's more maybe chordal playing, and I often see students instead of playing, like if you have approaching a chord downwards, like especially from rest and slow. energy is up, and sometimes you want an upward energy, but mostly when you're playing slow chords, you want to go down into the keyboard. And it's I see a lot of students with a high wrist, and they're losing all of that sound. So there's a lot of preparation in chordal playing. Romantic music is a lot about balance between the right hand and left hand, a lot about voicing a melody in one hand while playing another part in the same hand. Cantabile touch versus a leggero touch, right? The cantabile touch, to me, has to be at the bottom of the key bed with maybe a flatter finger, and if you want a lighter touch, or articulated touch, it's more like a pointed, on the pointy part of your finger. So anyway, and these pieces also have a lot of left-hand melodies, a lot of hand crossings all across the keyboard, different keys, and different figurations. And so also these romantic style pieces, of course, are good for developing phrasing, pacing of ritardandos, pacing of crescendos, playing longer phrases, micro pedaling, which is just using knowing when to use a little bit of pedal or a lot of the pedal, and creating different colors. So I think you'll find that you'll hear, when I get to the preludes, you'll hear some Schumann, some Heller, some Burgmüller, some Debussy, some Grieg, a little bit of Rachmaninoff in these lyric preludes. But anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna play some pieces, and maybe I'll talk about why I'm playing them. I just like the pieces in general, but so this first piece is from accent. These first few are from Accent on Solos. This is called Lazy Bayou. So this is kind of a good introduction to maybe nocturne playing. And so when I think of a nocturne, we have this fundamental bass tone that opens up the strings, and then you have an accompaniment in the middle. This is a little softer, and then a melody on top. So, and then of course, as I said before, we have this chordal playing, and when I play them at least, I'm gonna play down, prepare first, and then go down into the keys. So I'm gonna play this Lazy Bayou. Yeah, I'm going to play a lot of pieces, so you can. So anyway, I hope you saw or heard when I was talking about preparing these chords. And that way, when you prepare the chords, of course, they all sound together. Instead of, if you don't use the arm weight, you're risking these chords to be rolled and not together. You can also, depending on how fast you're playing to the keys, play louder or softer, right? So it gives you a lot of control that way. But I love that piece. Again, he writes a lot of waltzes. Again, this is a waltz triste, sad waltz. Here we have a melody in the left hand, so I think it's great for students to always play melodies in the left hand. So we're so focused on the right hand. But of course, this is about balance and style. And again, playing that kind of fundamental bass tone on the downbeat, right? And one more from this set. This is a barcarolle. And this one is really great for a cantabile tone in the right hand, and developing kind of a sense of sonority of the keyboard. Again, we have this fundamental bass and these really lush chords. They're not really hard to play, but again, we have to prep them. And I think we all know, this is a great also test of timing. I think, for me, I've been hanging around a lot of jazz musicians, and my friends, they're like, well, we talk about what makes a great musician. Why is somebody, why do they stand out to us? And most of us have decided that there are two things. It's their tone. They have a beautiful tone, or it's something unique about their sound, and their sense of time. And that's really hard to teach, a sense of time, I think. They have to kind of listen to it or have a natural sense of it. But those two things, I think are really, really important. So anyway, this is, you have to have a pretty good sense of time for this one, this barcarolle. And this is about pacing of these phrases. Also, you probably all know this, but when we're playing a crescendo, my students often hammer the first note. Just like, and I'm like, well, why are you doing? And so I often have them ghost it, the first note, and start from almost nothing. And so there are a lot of those phrases in here. those pieces. I think they were really nice. I mean, and he's such a good writer of these character pieces. So I'm going to play some of the jazz ones next. And I just like these. So pedagogically speaking, I mean, I don't know. There's the balance stuff here, but I think it's just like if students want to play a jazzy piece or a bluesy piece, these are nice pieces for them. They're not all that hard. You know, yeah, I think they're upper intermediate pieces, you know, so let me play a couple for you here. You know, it sounded like some of you knew these ones. This is the New Orleans Blues. A balance is important here, and of cordo playing it against. I also wanted to talk about when we have like these single notes, and again, maybe it's just students that I come across, like single notes that you need to play with it. It's usually a crossover or low note or the ending note, and we're going to play with our third finger. It's good to support it with our thumb, right? And I often see students just like not doing that, and I wonder, well, why? So, and so there's a lot of that in Gillock's playing, a lot of crossovers where you want to poke out a single note and one hand or the other, so you want to support it with your thumb. This is called Canal Street Blues. That was a good one for balance. Okay, just a couple more here. Downbeat, this is called Downtown Beat. one for actually introducing to comping or accompanying in the left hand with these chords. So that, I mean, that's what jazz musicians do. They comp or accompany in the left hand while improvising in the right hand. So that's that style. And one more, it's kind of a ballad here. And this is, again, about voicing the chords, having a good fundamental tone, and balance between the right hand and the left hand. Well, oops. Pretty, right?
What was the name of that one again?
That one is called, where is it? That's called Uptown Blues.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of these jazz types of pieces are it's hard to grab those chords in the left hand for students, I think. And that little stride bass is a little tricky, but for developing a sense of like color and phrasing and harmony and sound, I think it's they're really nice, pieces.
What's the title of that book?
This one is called New Orleans Jazz Styles. New Orleans Jazz Styles. I think there may be 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like are they varying levels or just?
I don't
lots
think
of
so.
references?
I think they're all the kind of the same level. I think. I don't know. Does anybody know?
Nobody has
They
a
are
series
different
that are
levels.
much easier with the same names for younger students.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're for elementary students. The same.
Some of the same songs.
So these are it's the Willis Music
I've heard it
Company,
before.
but I think
Yeah.
Willis is distributed by Hal Leonard. Hal Leonard.
Yeah. Is that a compilation of all the books? Or
No, this is just
just one level or? one?
yeah. It says all 15 original piano solos included. So
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe it is a compilation. But I don't think so. I think this one is. You can take a look at it. I think this is just.
Or all 3 of the New Orleans style jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can take a look at it. If
Oh,
you
there's a
want.
duets one too.
Is there? Well, there's a.
Duets.
I often have. There's a Champagne Toccata. Do you know that one?
No.
It's for 8 hands. It's 2 pianos.
Oh, wow.
And it's a great piece for like upper intermediate students, early advanced students. It's really fun. It's called Champagne Toccata. And it's like typical Gillock, but it's a little bit more, it's a toccata, so it moves around a little bit, and it sounds great. It's rhythmic, and students really like that piece. I mean, I think I did it on like a showcase recital with 3 of my high school students once or something, and it was just a lot of fun. But it's called Champagne Toccata. I should have brought it. There's only one piano
That's
here.
8 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 hands. Yeah.
Roll another piano in here.
If we had another piano, we could all.
That's what I was thinking. That would be fun to do.
It is. I mean, it's a really nice. I mean, it's a great piece. I'm going to play a couple elementary pieces now. I mean, I like these. I mean, he is such a masterful writer, I think. This one is called Aeolian Harp. You probably have heard it, but I'm going to play it. But again, it's it's just 8th notes, really, and but it has some hand crossings, and the harmonies with the pedal make it sound really, really nice. Also, I think it is a good piece to kind of develop a sense of touch. It's this Aeolian harp, a sense of touch within the hand, because we have these rocking that. So you can hear the inner melody, but it's really about opening up the students' ears and hearing these harmonies and what the piano is capable for. And this is a very soft kind of sounding piece, but. So when I have like elementary students, I often will pair that with like a little sonatine or a little classical piece. I always like that. This one's called Promenade. This is this is about it's a waltz. It's developing. It's a left-hand melody in the B section. No, it's a left-hand melody in the A section, not the B section. But it's about balance between the hands, and yeah. So that's also a nice elementary piece. You can almost teach it from rote.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that one?
That's called, I'm sorry, Promenade.
Right.
Yeah, the other one is Aeolian Harp, the elementary piece.
I think those are both on our festival repertoire too.
Yeah.
Are they?
See it online.
Yeah, I know some of them are.
There's one I hear all the time about. Well, there's Fountains in the Rain.
Fountains
in the
I'm
Rain, yeah,
gonna
that
play
one.
that one. It's part of the preludes, but there's another one about rain or fountains or something. I forget what it is. That I hear a lot.
In the fish,
Yeah.
goldfish, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a goldfish.
I think it is. I think it's called.
Goldfish or angelfish or something.
No, it is. I think it's.
It's not rainbow fish, is it?
Goldfish.
No, rainbow fish is somebody else, isn't it?
Well,
Okay.
so these. I'm gonna play these preludes. I'm gonna play all of them, I think, and I'm gonna maybe play 5 or 6 and stop, and then play 5 or 6 and stop. But these are weird, I think, as far as they're beautiful pieces, and I sometimes I hear people play them in like a competition. They'll play a group of them, but they're character pieces, and they there are pieces that sound more impressive than they are. We all know that as we can pull those out as teachers. Like, listen, I need a piece that sounds impressive that's not that hard to play. Here, take this, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the opposite, right? These are a little bit harder to play, and they sound less impressive. They're very beautiful pieces. So they're for, I think, a student who is mature musically. I mean, you might disagree. I don't know. I mean, there are some that are easier, obviously, and some are more difficult. So yeah, and they're mostly 1 page, 1 or 2 pages long. So they remind me of all preludes. Like I would play these Rachmaninoff preludes, and I'd work on them for months, and they lasted 4 minutes. I was like, why am I torturing myself on these Rachmaninoff preludes? They sound beautiful, but it takes 4 minutes and it's gone, and I worked all that time. That's kind of how I feel about this a little bit for students, but you get a lot out of it, a lot out of them. So they are, they're like I said, they're very beautiful. There are lots of different keys, a lot of hand crossings, a lot of different stylistic things, and they're really great for phrasing, voicing, sound, producing sound, balance, figurative, playing figurations, and reading in different keys as well, in different styles, being dramatic, being poetic, being stoic, being sad, being mad, all of those things that character pieces do for us. So I'm going to play a few. I'm going to play through them. I'll play maybe 5 or 6 and stop. But does anybody have any questions right now before I start, please? Okay. So again, the first few. Well, I'm going to stop. I'll play them and then maybe go back and talk about them and see if you have any questions. And to me, again, I mean, I know I've said it a few times now. It is. My goal as a teacher is to give a piece of music to my students and to have them interpret it, to look at it and say, oh, I know what that tenuto mark means. I know what that crescendo means. I know what the double lines mean. I know what kind of touch. So most of the time, like one of my pet peeves is my students are expressive they try to be expressive with time. They're pushing and pulling and pushing and rubato, and they think they're being expressive. I'm like, listen, you're not being expressive at all. Can you be expressive with these things in your hands, your touch, your ears, right? Let's start there. Then we can kind of loosen up the time a little bit. Yes, there's ritardanto, and there's breathing, and there's taking a little lift. There's all of that between phrases, but they're often like, if you ever hear Frank Sinatra sing, and he's one of my great, and Chopin nocturnes too, I feel. Like, I always feel like Sinatra sings the first verse straight. Sings it straight. He doesn't start messing around with it until after, like the second time and third time. The same thing with the Chopin nocturne. Chopin writes it straight, the first 16 bars, and then he starts messing around with it, right? And so I always like, well, let's establish a sense of tempo first, a pulse. Can you give me a pulse and a beautiful sound, and then we can. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from with all of these. I want my students to be able to produce and know how to make a good sound, know what to do, and so I think these are great for that. With teachers' guidance, of course. But I'll play 4 or 5 of these and then stop. So that's the first, maybe 4 or 5 of those. Anyway, you know, there's the obviously the first one is about balance between playing light with your thumb and second finger, and balancing the melody on top of it. The second one, this hand cross is developing like a freedom, technically anyway, freedom of with your arms and playing again, supporting that third finger with your thumb. Then we have this like 2 different touches within the same piece, this cantabile, and then very soft. And then we have a waltz with a left-hand melody. Balance again. Then there's this one that sounds like Rachmaninoff to me. In B minor, and about kind of drawing the sound out with your arms and wrists. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to play the next group, beginning with this figurative writing here, Summer Storm. This one sounds like a Krieg, I kind of feels And this one's more like WC. I think you'll recognize this one. let's do this. This is kind of a wax on, wax on, off with the hands. It's a slow one, and it's really nice to develop kind of a sense of time, I think, and touch and color. This is a waltz, Winter Scene. It's in F sharp minor. Again, it's 1 page long, and all of his waltzes have a left-hand melody in them somewhere. Well, anyway, let me play it. I think this is as all the waltzes, or a lot of the pieces, again, it's developing a sense of cantabile playing, yeah. So that's what I think. The cantabile playing here with both hands. Sorry. Serenade, this next one I love. It's in D flat, and this is, again, a sense of sonority on the piano. Next one is called Hummingbird, and I think you'll see why. It's good for good exercise for your thumb, keeping your thumb nice and light.
What was the title?
What?
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
What was the title of the last one?
The last one was called Serenade.
Okay, thank you.
That's a beautiful one.
It is.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really nice. It's a nice key. I don't know. It just feels good to play. It's in D flat. I don't know about your students, they get freaked out by flats and sharps, right? It's like, these are the easy keys to play in. You know, all the blind people are sight, so what's the proper term?
Vision impaired.
Yeah, the vision impaired people play they play on the black keys. Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, they don't play on the white keys, they play on the black keys because they can feel their way around the keyboard. And Chopin wrote all of his stuff with, you know, C sharp minor, D flat. A lot of that was on the black keys. It's not on the white keys, you know. It just feels better. What's that?
Is there a key scheme?
I don't know, you know, it's a good question. I think there probably is. There probably is. I mean, this one's in F sharp minor and the other's one D flat major, so they're right beside each other, so maybe not.
Because it doesn't seem like there's been any two with the same key.
Right. No, that is true. There haven't, but it's the first one is C major, the next one's C minor, but then after that it doesn't follow. And it is G major and G minor, I think. But then it
Is that the October morning one?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
G major one.
yeah. This one, yeah, that's G major, and this one, that's in G minor. But then this one's in, let me see, that one's in D minor. So I should have looked at this. C major, C minor, G major, G minor, D major, D minor, A major, A minor, E major, E minor, so B major, B minor, so there is so far, B major, B minor. So then, I skipped that one, I don't like it. It's the only one I skipped, I was just like, that's hard to play, I don't like it, it feels weird, I don't even like the sound of it. F sharp minor, D flat major. Then D flat major, C sharp minor. That's the one I'm going to play. A flat major, G sharp minor. Yeah, so I guess E flat major, E flat minor. There is actually then one, right? Then B flat major, B flat minor. There is. Yeah, sorry. You guys should just kick me out right now for not knowing that. I'm just like, that should have been the first thing you looked at. All the prayers, Bach did it, Chopin did it. Get out of here.
She needs a star for recognizing that.
What's that?
She needs a star.
She does. You come up there and do this. Okay, this is Hummingbird. It's in C sharp minor. Let's start that. This is a Fountain of Diana. It's in A flat major. So left hand melody. So this one, hand crossing. this one, next one called Soaring, probably a reference to Schumann, Absprung. So this one is a melody in the thumb note, long phrases. So a lot of, this one is, I mean, it's easier to play the melody with your thumb. These are triplets, so a lot of weight into the thumb. This is called Night Song. Figurative writing, again, a balance. Very, very much like Bergmüller or Schumann, bringing out these melodies within the triplet figure. So I just want to stop on that one, and you know, you probably all know this, and but again, I often encounter quite advanced players who don't. If I say, okay, take a chord and push off, they don't know how to do that. So it's like doing a handspring from the key tops. So you're pushing off with your wrist. I don't know why, but they don't. And so you have to kind of know when to do it. But it's a short, it's an accented note, obviously. It's mostly loud, accented, and short. So this is what, here. I'm pushing off from the key. So a lot of people will try, a lot of my students will try to hit it instead of feeling it and then doing a handspring off of it. Okay, this is called Old Valentine. one more for Halloween. The last one's called A Witch's Cat. Again, this is we have some arpeggios and hand crossings. Sorry. That's it for the preludes. I did them all but one. So anyway, it gives you if you haven't heard Gillock, it gives you a good idea, a really good idea, I think, of what his pieces sound like. But do you see what I mean with the preludes? I love the pieces, but I kind of struggle with them a little bit because I'm not playing them, but I teach some of the easier ones, or I have taught when I have young students. But by the time they can play, like an intermediate student or advancing intermediate student could play some of these, I'm like, they're on to, like, you know, Heller and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, I have a little testimony. I showed this book to one student who fell in love with it right away. And,
Really?
yeah, worked his way through and did most of the pieces.
Wow.
And he's very musical. He's
Yeah.
like naturally musical. I feel like I learn things from him sometimes too.
Wow.
Yeah, so he really enjoyed them, and they're short. He loves Chopin.
Oh yeah.
These he could do in a couple weeks instead of months.
Right, that is true actually. If you're a decent reader and you're musical,
Yeah,
like,
read it.
right, you can learn a lot from these pieces. There's so much in them, I think. But yeah, I think actually, the other pieces not so much, but I think the preludes, it takes maybe a special type of student. Not all the pieces, but a lot of them, a special type of student who, they're not pattern pieces, you know, like Vandal or something. They're real pieces. I mean, Robert Vandal. Robert Vandal. I was a friend of. I mean, not a friend, but he went to the University of Illinois. I went to Illinois, so he came back to Illinois all the time. So I knew him really well, and his mentor was my mentor. So I knew him. So I'm not. I use his pieces when I taught. I used his pieces all the time, but they're pattern pieces.
Right.
These are not, you know. So that's the difference.
Well, and I had a similar experience as you, Brenda, with my adult student who hadn't played piano in years, and now she has 3 kids and they're taking piano, so she wants to take piano, and she fell in love with the lyric pieces. And they're, like you said, they're short, they're doable for her. You know what I mean? And so she'll spend a month on one and learn it really well, and then move on to the next one, and she just really likes them. So I think that's interesting.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah,
You know,
but maybe
so-
a mature student, like
And coming
somebody
back
who's-
to learning how to read and do that
Yeah.
again, so it's been interesting.
Yeah, because one of the things is these pieces they do not talk down to the students. They do not do it. They're full of music, and they demand that the students come up to the level of music. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So a little PS, the one called Old Valentine.
Yeah.
This student's grandma is getting married this December, and he's going to play that in the prelude music that he's playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It is cool.
That's really
She
cool.
heard him play it and liked it.
You know, it's so. A lot of those things have happened to me lately. Like I had an aunt die, and somebody got sick, and then what else happened? Oh, somebody had a baby, right? And they texted me and said, "Well, I'm playing this video like when my aunt died, like, well, we put a recording of this, of your playing. Or this, the baby really smiles when she hears this piece that you play. And that has never really happened to me before in a way. I mean, I've played in bands all the time, and I used to watch people smile, and I get enjoyment. So it's been a long time, but yeah, something like that is really meaningful. You know, so to play it at your grandma or at a wedding, yeah, is really meaningful. I think that's really cool. Well, I want to thank you for. I mean, you know, when I did this for the state thing, I had a handout and I showed like technical things, and so I didn't do that, but I do have like a list of the technical stuff. If you want, you can give me your email and I'll send it to you. But I don't have like the excerpts of the music, you know, like slides and stuff. I don't have that right now. But,
Or you can send it to me and I can send it to everybody.
I can do
in the
that.
distribution
I'll do that.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
all right.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've always loved his music, and
Good.
it's been really successful with students. They just fall in love with it. So, has he written non-pedagogical music?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Or any arrangements of jazz? Because the last jazz piece you played had kind of whiffs of Blue Moon in it.
Yeah.
So I wondered if he had written any.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's strictly a teacher and pedagogical composer.
And not,
Yeah.
it really advanced things.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he found his like niche and he just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, I don't think he's like, I think this is not, I mean, I think it takes a real talent to write pieces that don't talk down to students and are not extremely hard and that fit under the hands well and sound good. And he has a real talent for that. He also has a real talent for like, I'm gonna write a piece that sounds like Debussy without it being Debussy, right? So I don't know if he's like an original, like has original, this sounds awful, but original like ideas like a serious composer. I mean, that sounds awful, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's his thing.
Okay.
I think his thing is I can write this kind of music in the style of, I'm a stylist, is what he is, you know, character stylist. His elementary pieces actually are more, I think, more original than his intermediate pieces.
Yeah.
The intermediate pieces are kind of written in the style of. You know, but that's, I don't know. I hope I'm not offending him. He's dead, but
Sorry to.
oh, that's right.
I loved
Nice.
it.
Oh, thank you.
And
Nice
I'm
to
a
see you.
UMI graduate.
Oh, you are?
With James Like, and I saw.
Oh, you
I
are.
got your
Oh, you are. Oh, wow.
presentation.
Well, what years were you there? I don't mean to, you know.
Share my age, right?
Yeah. So you don't have to tell me.
MS and
So who
ASD.
did you study?